Hi guys, welcome back to exmolex. As an ex-Mormon with a lot of very active Mormon family, there are certain things that you just cannot talk with your family about. I've wanted to talk about this for a while and I wanted to get some input, so I asked my ex-Mormon followers on YouTube and Facebook if they had any stories. Have you ever wanted to share something from your life with your Mormon family, but they didn't want to hear it because it goes against their religious beliefs? I got several interesting comments, so I'm going to share some of those comments and stories with you today. And if you want to share your own story, please do so in the comments. But before we go farther into the video, I want to share with you guys a really fun giveaway I'm doing with Bessa. My friends at Bessa and I are giving out free vibrators or gift cards for vibrators to anybody who signs up for my giveaway. I get brands sliding into my DMs pretty often, but I usually choose not to work with them. Bessa is one of the brands that I will work with every time. If you've been around my channel a while, you know that I work with Bessa pretty often, and the reason is because I truly love their products. Their customer support is great, their products are great, and super cute. This one's the Pebble. It comes in a cute little discreet charging case. And honestly, after leaving the Mormon church, I really have had to go on a journey of self-discovery that a lot of ex-Mormons have to do, and Bessa has been very helpful with that. This one is called the Thump, which again comes in a really cute, discreet little charging case. And this one is one of my favorites because it has so many different settings that are great for many different body types. This one is called the Air Vibe. Again, many different modes for many different uses. All the products I've shown are amazing quality. They're all waterproof. They all have different modes and settings like thump, vibration, and suction. So you can choose whatever works best for your body. So don't forget to sign up for my giveaway. There will be a link in the description as well as right here on the screen. Huge thanks to Bessa. Now let's share some stories. To start off with, something from my own life that I really can't share very much of with my Mormon family members is my YouTube channel. The work I do online is pretty important to me. It's something that brings me a lot of fulfillment and I take a lot of pride in it. But unfortunately, because I work on exposing cults and I criticize the Mormon church, my Mormon family members obviously don't really want to hear about this. While I do understand it because I was once in that position, it does make me feel bad because my Mormon family members love to share their experiences about the church with me, but I can't share this big part of my life with them. Now I'm going to share some of the comments and messages I receive from you guys. We can't share the bad things that occur in our lives because then it is God pressuring us to return to Mormonism. We can't share the good things because it's impossible for truly good things to happen to anyone who turns away from Mormonism. We talk about things very vaguely and not very often. We avoid meals with them because there is always a prayer asking for their prodigal children to return to Mormonism. That would be so awkward. Oh dear, my goodness, oh heck, and even fudge are banned words in their presence because they are replacements for profanity, which means they are synonymous. Wow. I think that if it was at that level with my family, I also would try not to hang out with them very often. I had a miscarriage about 2 years ago. I haven't shared with anyone in my family. I'm a single mom of 2 and have been living with my mother. I was terrified to have to tell her of the pregnancy. And the morning I miscarried, I just got dressed and went to work like nothing had happened. It was an unplanned and frankly unwanted pregnancy, but it was still hard to go through. I wanted so badly to be able to talk to my mom about all my conflicting feelings, but I knew I shouldn't. I am so sorry that you had to go through that without the support of your mom. That's something that I would want to be able to go through with my closest family members, but I completely understand not being able to talk to them about it. I hope you've been able to find some peace since then, and I'm truly sorry that you had to go through that alone. When I formally had my name removed from the rolls of the church, I wanted to shout from the rooftops that I'd done so, but refrained due to not wanting to offend/break the hearts of my TBM extended family. As far as they know, I just fell away. I'm afraid if I straight up told a couple of my aunts what I did, it would send them to an early grave. Completely understand. And again, like when I first left the church, I had the same thought, like I want to just tell everybody because I wanted everybody to be aware of the stuff that I had learned, but you just can't do that. My family and I get along pretty well, but religion and spirituality are kind of off the table as far as conversation topics. Anytime I try to discuss atheism or even an interpretation of God different than in Mormonism, it becomes dogmatic real quick. A lot of, well, the Book of Mormon/the Prophet doesn't say that. Hell, they got mad at me for singing God is a Woman by Ariana Grande around them. It's frustrating because they are overall nuanced and intelligent people, but as soon as the topic of religion comes up, they go into defense mode, and that's that. Any different beliefs is interpreted as an attack on them. I've just kind of accepted that it's something we just don't talk about unless we want to ruffle some feathers. Yeah, I have certain family members that I can discuss religion with that are more nuanced, and others that like I wouldn't even dare bring it up. Once people found out we had left the church, pretty much our entire life was unwelcome. No one asks, no one comments, no one engages if we try to share anything whatsoever. This is the punitive, violent punishment of shunning, where without warning, you and your life simply become invisible. I'm so sorry that you've had to deal with that. Mormonism doesn't have like a formal shunning process the way some other religions do, like Jehovah's Witnesses. But family by family, there are Mormon families that will shun their own children if they leave the church. And I've seen it happen a number of times. My exit has created a weird dynamic where they seem heavily invested in pointing to my setbacks as proof that Satan is now running the show for me. And they're very interested in re-recruiting me, even though I'm clear that it isn't of interest to me. I did share my book, 5 Lives, where I chronicle my exit from Mormonism and experience different worldviews until ending up very interested in consciousness. But they not only didn't get it, but were offended that I would go public with my exit. We're just on different planets now. I share very little. When you are really close to somebody, not being able to share the things that are important to you or meaningful to you is really hard. But then on the other side, they want to share about their religion with you. And personally, I really don't have a problem with that as long as they're just telling me about it because it's something that's important to them. If it was the type of thing where they were like trying to get me to go back to church or like actively shoving their religion down my throat, that would be different. But if they're just telling me about like what happened to church this week or like what I learned or how I felt or whatever, like I'm so happy to hear about that. And I would hope that they would want to hear about my life outside of the church as well. But most of the time, it's not something that we can really feel comfortable talking about with them. And that's hard. I wish I could share my beliefs now. I'm an agnostic pagan and would love to explain what I believe, but for obvious reasons, that would not go great. Yeah, I can imagine that for most active Mormons, they wouldn't want to hear anything about that because they would be afraid they were like letting Satan into the conversation, which is crazy. Yes, I feel like I can't share even something small I purchased with my own hard-earned money, like a cute $15 dress. I'm disabled and it's so hard for me to even work my extremely physical job, but I can't share what I got because I didn't pay tithing. I am seen as selfish and self-serving, yet my family is all very well-to-do and far above middle class, yet I am the selfish one. I'm so sorry. That sounds like another level of extreme with them not being happy for you buying something for yourself because you didn't pay tithing first. I can't wrap my head around that. I haven't had that experience with my Mormon family, and that would just be so crushing. I'm so sorry that you've had to deal with that. My ex-Mormon brother got into home brewing and was really excited about his brews winning awards and being taken up by a local brewery. And obviously my TBM family were uncomfortable and pretty fake in their congratulations. Yeah, I can only imagine. I generally, for most of my Mormon family, don't talk about the fact that I drink coffee because it would just make them uncomfortable. And it's so sad because, like, again, Mormonism is such a small religion in the grand scheme of things. And most of the world drinks coffee and there's not like, nobody sees a moral issue with it except Mormons. And it's such a weird thing to get hung up on. Coffee, tea, and alcohol. Like, that is such a big deal for so many Mormons. But when you're on the outside, it's like just nothing, you know? If you have a story you'd like to share, please put it in the comments. I'm sure many of us could relate. I think that all of us, like, individually know our families best and how to communicate with them best. So there's no one size fits all answer for being able to approach Mormon family members about things within your life that are important to you, but are scary to them. But with certain family members, I've been able to broach these subjects very slowly, mind you. I've been out of the church for 5 years now, and there are some family members that I feel comfortable talking to about my life outside of the church, and they're comfortable listening. And then others that I wouldn't even go there with. I hope that if there's any Mormons watching this, you can sort of look at the way that it feels for somebody to love you very much and have spent your life together and then not be able to share about things that are important to them or even things that they just are interested in. Like, if we're close, I want to talk to you about my life. I want to be able to have a conversation without having to completely avoid certain topics because I'm afraid you'll get offended. And for those of us who are out of the church, I feel like the opposite still applies. Like, if you want to be able to tell them about your life outside of the church, you still need to be able to hear when they talk about the church. And I know that it can be really hard. I know that it can be triggering. I know it can be upsetting because a lot of us have trauma associated with the church. So I'm not saying that it's not okay to, you know, feel traumatized or like not want to hear about the church, but it kind of has to be a two-way street. If you want to talk about your life outside of the church, they are probably still going to want to talk about their life in the church. And again, that doesn't mean that you have to accept them preaching to you, but just talking about their life in the church, like generally, is something that I feel like we should work up to being okay with just so we can have better relationships. But that's just my 2 cents. Let me know what you guys think. And again, don't forget to sign up for my giveaway with Bessa, link in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and special thank you to my patrons for supporting the channel. You guys are the best. Extra special thank you to Amy, Doug Davis, and NJ for supporting at the Demon tier on my Patreon. I appreciate it so much. If you would like to support the channel, there are links to do so in the description below. Thank you for being here, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!